Howdy, Tim Borland here. I've got my wife, Michelle. We've married 21 years. Kylie, Colton, and Maddie, they're 19, 17, and 15. Michelle and I grew up in Christian homes. Michelle and I have always grown up pursuing God and our faith and been very involved in Awanas and VBS and church all growing up. She and I met country line dancing 21 years ago in San Luis Obispo at the Graduate. And God was very much a center of our marriage. I knew that when Michelle told me that she was a Sunday school teacher at church, and when I told her, don't tell Seth this, but when I told her that I played drums in the worship band, we both recognized that, hey, this isn't just somebody that says, I believe in God. This is someone that actually pursues God, goes to church. So Michelle and I were quickly in love. We met and married in 5 months, which was pretty radical. And a year later, our family came along with Kylie being our firstborn, and we always wanted God to be a big part of our family and our life together. Being involved in church, Sunday school, marriage group, family groups, getting our kids into Sunday school. It's always a high priority for us. We ended up in Los Gatos, going to some churches up there, and really plugged in the church community. 2009, we got this really obscure call to go to this ranch in South San Benito County to help do some damage control with the horses and the land and the animals. And Michelle and I, when we got married in 2002, we had this vision that one day we were going to be on a ranch with horses doing ministry and hospitality work. And so we actually wrote down on paper, so if you've never done this before, it's incredibly powerful. For every couple, you should have a vision for what your future looks like. We did that in 2002. With no land in the family, first generation, no money, no means or ways that we ever thought we could be on a ranch. But God put this dream on our heart. So in 2009, we got a chance to pursue that. We had to drop everything in the Bay Area. We had to leave friends and family and church groups and community groups and coffee with friends and play groups for the kids. But we knew that God had this call on our life. And so in faith, we went down to this ranch in South San Benito County, just south of the Pinnacles. It's the old Dock Bar Ranch. And we landed there in 2009 and just really fell in love with the community. And we spent 4.5 years working the land and bringing our kids were 5, 3, and 1 at that point in time. So starting to get them involved in the local elementary schools and going to the county fairs and 4-H. And the lifestyle really became something we loved. Well, in 2014, we hit a fork in the road where we had to decide, do we want to leave? Because the owners of the ranch, we were hired ranch hands at that point in time. Do the owners want us to stay or go? And they did allow us to stay, but they terminated us from our job. And so we had the opportunity to take the ranch over on a lease, but it meant that we were going to have to start our own business. So it's pretty profound and amazing. But in 2014, we opened up the ranch as a hospitality ranch, and what ended up happening was kind of this slow fade that oftentimes happens in life. You could call it the frog in the pot of water, whatever it might be, that slow fade that happens over time, and you find yourselves getting comfortable and complacent and being okay with your old ways, and your old ways become the normal ways. And the only way that things are really going to change is if you change them yourself. And with desperation comes motivation. And I think oftentimes too, God allows disruption in our life to then lead us into a new direction. We have never stopped praying. We've never stopped trying to keep God at the center of our life and be just really everything that we live for and long for and hanging on to our faith. But what slowly started to happen in 2014 was the ranch got really busy and guests want to stay on the ranch from Friday through Sunday. And that means like Sunday afternoon. And sometimes it meant even Sunday morning. They wanted to help us feed the animals and they wanted to go for another ride and they wanted to have more experiences on the ranch. And when you're starting a business and you don't have a whole lot of money, you kind of have to say yes. And so over the years, we found ourselves saying yes to the business and no to going to church on Sunday. There's also this saying in business that I've been trying to use in our business that what got us here today is not going to be what gets us there tomorrow. And it's so hard in life and business, spiritually, emotionally, physically, even in business, we just get stuck in that rut, and we get stuck doing the things that we've always done, unless there's some sort of intentional effort to say, you know what, we've got to make a change. We've got to move on. And what I'm so thankful for and grateful for is our kids have been, as passionate about that, and they've been as vocal about that as we should as well. And so our whole family has come together and said, can we please try to do something new and different? Can we please try to go to church on Sunday morning? And most everybody knows Chick-fil-A. Most people know Chick-fil-A is very different in the way they do things, but not everybody knows that one thing that's amazing about Chick-fil-A is they said, we will not be open on Sundays. Most people know that. But what they don't know is, from a business financial standpoint, Chick-fil-A actually makes more money in 6 days than any other fast food chain makes in 7 days. And most people, when Chick-fil-A said we're not going to be open on Sunday, most people said there's no way, you're not going to make it. But what's been so awesome is God used Chick-fil-A's faithfulness, their team, to decide to close on Sunday to make sure that they can have a proper Sabbath. And it's a fish and loaves kind of miraculous story, right? Where God took 6 days and profits them more than they could even make in 7 days if they were open. So it's been 4 weeks. We've been coming to Sunday service. We got to come to the Easter service. I can't even tell you how long it's been since we've even come to a proper Easter service, because people would want to come to the ranch and do things on the ranch and do an Easter egg hunt. They'd want us to get the bunnies out. And we were just so conflicted with serving the guests. And yes, we get to minister and refresh others on Sunday morning, but the challenge is we weren't being refreshed. I feel like this whole, more in 2024 was just for us. And then, of course, the first day we show up, he's got to talk about the prodigal son. Like, this is hilarious. I mean, I kind of felt like the prodigal son in some ways over the last number of years, that we, our hearts and minds and souls and spirits are all about, and we're very intentional about making sure we listen to good music, we have great conversation, we eat dinner together basically every night around the table, we pray together, we pray every morning, we pray every evening. I mean, we do a lot of those things that are really important, but we were letting coming to church on Sunday be less important. And I just thought it was I thought it was hilarious that we show up on Sunday morning and Kevin decides to talk about the prodigal son coming back. And it was like us coming back to church after 7 or 8 years of not coming to church consistently on a Sunday morning. We come back and it's, hey, welcome back, the prodigal son, we welcome you. So anyhow, if there's any encouragement in our story, just want to encourage you, if you're wondering, what do I have to give something up to gain something? Is coming to church consistently, is being a part of a body of believers as important as folks say it is. Just know Michelle and I grew up that way. We that was important for us when our kids were young. We lost it for a little while. Our kids even recognized it, and they were encouraging us to make that a priority again and make it important. And is there any earth-shattering change, the next day? Not always. We're just feeling so much more refreshed. When Sunday really is a day of rest, and it still means you could be going out, doing things, having fun, but not sitting on the ranch, not being stuck on the ranch for 12 hours working, because guess what happens Monday morning? It's right back to work. And we've been on cycles where we literally would go 70 straight days all summer long without one day off, because we had guests on the ranch every day, 7 days a week for 9 weeks all summer long. And you get pretty dang burnt out at the end. So I know that God created the Sabbath for a reason. We're experiencing that more. After 4 weeks, we're feeling already encouraged and refreshed. And I told Kevin, even just this Sunday, I woke up more energized than I normally would on a Sunday, knowing that we get to feed and go to church and have a day of just being encouraged and refreshed and fed. So God's trying to do something new in our life, and I'm excited for it. And if he's trying to do something new in your life, embrace it. But look for that new wineskin. Don't try to, you got to let go of the old before you grab onto the new, and be okay with that, because we've let go of some old habits and old ways, and it's been nothing but an incredible blessing to us. So God bless you, and hopefully we'll see you around.